I don't know how much you've kept up with the video's response and everything like that.
I have actually I watched the comments just give me such a kick. I really loved it. And so, every once in a while I've gone back and checked it. You've had like 50,000 people have watched this video.
When we recorded the video, I really expected like maybe to have like, I don't know, 5,000 people to reach out, which is still a good number. And I figured that it could reach the staff eventually, because the main point of the video for me was to reach out to the staff and let them know the positivity that is implied, and also let the community know like, hey, the originator of the dance is such a positive person. Give you some exposure as well to the community. And you've now affectionately been dubbed Uncle Twinning, which is the dungeon's name, and of course Uncle is what the Japanese community calls any person that's essentially not from Japan, so it's like Uncle Twinning.
Oh, great. I just thought, I was reading the comments, they're just all so positive. I mean, it was, and some of them are hysterical. I mean, one of my favorite ones is this guy, look, son, a legend. I laughed out loud when I saw that. And there were a bunch of them. Another one said something like, it's not even a bad dance.
Yeah. It's been such a blast to read all the comments. It's funnily enough, I think one of the funniest things is that it's been hard to escape, because there's been days where I'm like, oh God, there's been so many comments. All right, you know what? I'm going to bed, because I try to read all of the comments. It's been so many of them. And I wanted to at least get a little bit of a list going. Originally, that was my point as well. I had a Word document, and I was like, you know what, I'll mention all of these comments, and they all turned out positive. It's over 200 comments, and every single time I decided to turn it off, it was like, all right, I'm going to bed, and my phone just kept buzzing and buzzing, because I get emails for every single comment. So it's just my phone has been running out of battery, mostly because of the fact that I just ended up getting so many emails.
Well, I even got a couple of emails that somebody went to like my website and sent me an email. Some of the people that had seen it on your website and sent me really nice. This guy named Jonathan sent me a really nice email, just all positive and wonderful. So anyway, it's been fun, and it made me sort of want to learn more about Final Fantasy 14, of course. So I've been looking on their websites and sort of trying to understand it a little bit more, what it's all about. And it just, who wants something that's, a planet blessed by the light of the crystal? I mean, it's just awesome.
One of the major things that happened that I did not expect at all is that when we recorded the video, I think we did it on a Saturday, I believe. I waited a couple of days with getting the video up immediately, because I wanted Japanese subtitles, which big shout out to Mayuna for getting that done, because that was one of the best decisions ever, because not only were we able to reach a Western audience, but we got the Japanese audience just blew up. Nothing but just a massive outpour. And I didn't even know that whenever a foreign person to Japan did something and they wanted to give it a nickname, they would just call him Uncle all the time. Like Oji-san is the term for it. And so apparently John Jacobson is also known as Uncle Twinning, Oji-san in the community as well.
I think that's quite an honor from the Japanese community. And I know when I lived in Japan for a year, and so they always call me John-chan, which is sort of like I guess like your friend. He was there, John-san or John-chan, depending, something like that. So that was amazing. So I think it's so smart to kind of spread it out and get both sides of the globe looking at it and responding to it. But what was so amazing to me was just that all the responses were just so engaging and positive, and some of them, like I said, some of them hysterical, but not in a cutting way. They were like in just clever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clever people out there, and the animation on this is unbelievable. I mean, really, really breathtaking. And then to see me stuck in there in front of all this incredible animation, and it looks so crazy. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a screenshot of me almost creatures behind me and all that. I'm gonna frame it and put it up on my wall or something. I love that.
It's actually
really loved it.
a really good transition, because if there's one response that I've seen so much, it's that if there's one consensus that this interview has brought forward, and this is both from the Western audience, the Japanese audience, we want an emote. We want an emote in the game that we can perform and then do the double dream feet dance. And I joked about it originally, and you were said you were open for collaboration, but I think people took that as an incentive that they actually really want the developers to reach out to you. And have they reached out to you yet? And if not, this is your time to pitch it.
Well, I mean, they have not. I mean, I've not heard from anybody other than what I've read online that you've, the responses, and the one or two guys that emailed me, but I think they were players. They're part of your community. I don't think they're creators. But shoot, yeah, I mean, we should do something to get some sort of emote that would be, that would really enhance the whole Final Fantasy 14 mood, or something that kind of related to something. So it wasn't maybe even quite as random as Double Dream Feet, but we could do something that actually, kind of tied into something that's actually going on. I think it'd be...
When I reached out to you that there was going to be a positive message for Masayoshi Soken at the end, and he has seen the video. He has liked the tweet. He has seen the video. And with the blog that shared it, it's basically the biggest source of Final Fantasy XIV news in Japan. So knowing for the fact that it's been uploaded there and it's been shared, 99% certainty that the team has seen it and they have seen the video. So the message has 100% been passed on, and I think that's such a wonderful thing, because it was such a motivating thing and driving thing when it was about creating harmony in the world with the music and the game and sort of what the world needs right now. And it could not have rang more true. It's definitely what we needed right now in this in the world. So
well, I'm glad. Yeah, I was so surprised too, and pleased that people took it for what it is, and really, it's part of the quest. It's it kind of goes hand in hand with what you're doing every day on the Final Fantasy. It's and I think people, they put a lot of energy into this. They put a lot of time and they put a lot of heart into this community. And to see I hadn't really planned that I was going to make some speech about bringing harmony to the world, but it's what people I think the creators of Final Fantasy do. And I think it's what we try to do in my teaching or in my writing or my making up dances. It is to try to bring people together, and it's fun to be a part of it. And something so immensely universal, and all the people are doing this all over the world at this time, and to be just a small little part of that is, really a privilege. I don't take it lightly. I'm like, hey, anybody who's in the arts or is in entertainment, to have an audience is a great privilege. And I've just always believed if somebody's going to listen to you or watch you or, then say something that means something to you. Say something that's important to you.
There was a lot of people in the comment section that wanted to pass on the message, and I'm sure you've read them, is that one of the concerns that you had originally when it came to your video being posted online and the response to it is the dance being taken in sort of a comedic fashion in a negative light. It's sort of like laughing at you, but it just in universal sense almost, everybody has just said we're laughing with you, and we fully appreciate you being such a positive and energetic individual.
I did see those comments, and it meant a lot to me. It's just it's reassuring, especially younger people. I think to have them look at an old guy like me and feel like we're in a kinship here. And it's really easy to be cynical or to be critical of people, especially online when you're sitting in your own little cubicle. You can say things that you wouldn't even say in public. But and it's wonderful to realize that they were sitting there in their own little cubicle and saying positive things and saying, yeah, we're laughing with you, not at you. That meant a lot to me. And I read every single one of them. Some of the Japanese ones, I couldn't get the translation to kind of work out, their comments, all that. But I just assume if I can't understand it, it must be good. You got to have the courage to live your dreams. You got to have the courage to chase your dreams, and do what I think, again, getting back to the Final Fantasy thing, it's all about the journey. right?
Yeah.
It's about the journey, and not just in the game, but also in life. And you at some point you got to say, I'm courageous enough to do this. And what's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is that you didn't chase your dream. You have the right to pursue happiness. That's just a fundamental human right. And whatever that means for you, whether that be that you're going to be an artist or a writer or a student or a teacher, or if you're black or you're white or you're gay or you're straight or whatever, anything you are, you have the right to pursue happiness. And anybody who says differently, send them to me, because this is the one thing in life I'm absolutely sure of. And I don't mean to be all preachy. Yes, I do. I said, if you're gonna have an audience, say something that matters to you. And for me, I think encouraging people to have the courage to live your dreams is just so important.